You're watching this video because you need a BMX frame to help you spin 180s, 360s, 540s, 720s at a grinds, and the frame you have right now, the rear end is way too long. If you're familiar with my videos, I talk about everything about parts, bikes, from what colors they come in, how they work, to a bunch of other questions that you may have. If I don't answer the question that you're looking for about this product, leave me a comment below and I'll answer your question. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit about it. Today we're gonna do an explain and review on the Wethepeople Network frame. As you guys might know it, this is a Wethepeople frame. This is Dan Kruk's old signature frame. By this time, he's probably announced that he's on Vixen and that he will no longer be riding this frame. I think he already made it note that he's no longer riding for Wethepeople, but I still want to talk about this frame because people still want it. It's still a great frame, and somebody out there wants these questions answered. So yeah, here we go. So the reason why most people want this frame is one specific reason, and we're going to go talk about all that stuff, but I'm going to show you everything else about this frame and why you should pick up this frame. So this frame is available in multiple different sizes. Check my website for the sizes that are available. These things are made a little bit different. Wethepeople's bikes tend to stand out quite a bit from everybody else's bikes. It could be from this top tube. It could be from this little seat stay right here, this seat stay bridge. It could be maybe this down here. But I'm going to explain everything to you so you guys know it. So going to the head tube, this is an 1.1/8" threadless head tube. You could use any integrated headset on here. It's got a cool little hourglass shape to it. Super heavy duty. I noticed that the cups are a little bit deeper on the inside. I don't know if you can see in there. So the headset will sit in there a little bit farther than the top, and then the top cap will sit right here and look really nice. It's got these network graphics on here. These are the new graphics. You've probably seen a lot of photos of this frame online, and they have the other big block graphics. Those were last year's models. This is the current model. I am actually surprised we still have this frame. If I still have this frame available on our website, make sure you grab one because the holidays are here and this frame will sell out really quick. Going to the top tube, it has another graphic here, another hydroform graphic here. So this tubing has been hydroformed right here. Hydroform is basically using water and pressure to create the tubing to change shape. The reason they do this is so that it has more welding surface right here, thus making your frame stronger, and it gives it a little unique looking style instead of having the little gussets that are pretty much can openers on the top and the bottom. On the bottom, notice how it also has that. Looks a little bit different, just makes it super strong. Heavy duty 4130 chromoly all the way through the frame. It's got a lifetime warranty. If you have any problems with it, just contact us. We can get you a new frame or get you resolved. It's got an integrated seat clamp, and it's got this cool little style to the front of it. I think it looks cool. Going to the bottom bracket, this is a mid-bottom bracket. The shell is machined out to be relatively light. What's cool about this style shell is that you can lock into derrick dusters and stuff like that because the bottom bracket's machined out in the middle, and it helps you lock in on there. Going to the seat stays. The seat stays are a little bit bigger tubing, pretty heavy duty. They come down and they're welded to the dropout in the rear. This rear chainstay bridge is also a unique bridge. It actually has this on the top and the bottom, and it just gives it this crazy unique look. Going to the dropout is machined out on the back side of it. Let me see if I get a good angle. Quite a bit, so it lines up the bike, and it gives you enough space right here for your lock nuts to grab on there. Going to the outside of the dropout is perfectly flat. You can even tell that it had this machined out like that. It is capped on the end of the seat stays and the chain stays. I think that's pretty cool that they capped it. Going to the rear end, this thing is all connected through this hydroformed wishbone on the chain stays, and then it's welded together here, and it's cleaned up very, very nicely so that it looks smooth and it looks nice. Going to the geometry of this bike, people wonder what the geometry is. Geometry is just pretty much how the bike rides, and it can change whether you have bigger tires on the front or bigger tires on the back. So I'm going to help you with a little bit of that and explain it to you. But if you want all the geometry, head over to the site. It'll pop up right here once in a while. Click that up there, and then it'll give you all the specs of the frame. So you can see the head tube angles. You can see the bottom bracket, how high it is, standover, stuff like that. But let me see if I can remember some of this stuff. So the higher the number on the head tube angle is going to make the bike ride a little bit different. It's going to make the front end steeper. It's going to be a little bit more twitchy, but it's going to allow you to do nose manuals easier. How do you say, just any nollie tricks, anything like that. It's just going to feel a little bit more responsive, a little bit faster pace. When you turn, it's going to feel a little bit more how do you say, flinchy, and just kind of move a little bit quicker. So steeper the head tube, the faster it reacts. Mellower the head tube, the slower it reacts. Mellower the head tube, which is the lower number, is going to help the bike stay stable at high speed. So when you're going real fast on the trails, you don't want a super steep head tube like this. 75.75, you're going to want something around the 73 or 74 to keep it tracking straight. Now on top tube, most people want to know about top tube. Top tube varies on your height. Most people are about 5'10", between 5'8" and 5'10". If you're that size, you most likely want 20.75. And then when you get, not as tall as that, anything below that, you're going to want to do something smaller. If you're taller than that, you're going to want something bigger. That's kind of the average or the say-so. But from my experience, if you want something to tail whip faster or 360 faster, I would suggest getting a slightly shorter frame than you normally would. So instead of a 21, maybe go down to 27.5. That's exactly what I've done, and I love it a lot. I can still bar spin, plenty of room in the cockpit, but it helps tail whips and 360s so much more. So maybe try that on your top tube. Standover height, this one is 9.15, which is a pretty normal size, if not on the bigger size of standover. So standover is basically how from here to here on the frame, so 9.1. A short one is going to probably be around 8 or smaller, and then a tall one is about 10 inches. Usually the 10-inch ones people want to ride because they're super tall, like 6 foot, or they run their seat post really, really high, and having a low slung top tube with a super long seat post just makes your bike look really, really goofy, and nobody really likes that. Going to seat tube angles, I'm just going to fucking skip this because most of these Nimrods and BMX only make it in one size, and I pretty much hate it. They're all 71 degrees, and we still miss the General Lee 73 seat tube, the GT Fueler. Put that seat between our legs so we can do bar spins. So yeah, I'm hating on all you manufacturers. Fuck your 71 degree seat tube. Basically what that does is the angle of it makes it super mellow, or the steeper it is, it pushes it forward. That does change the top tube and stuff like that. All jokes aside, depending where you want it is basically how you want it to feel. A lot of people do like the 71 seat tube, but 73 is going to put it forward more. I have been looking at this, and I haven't seen many people change or do anything different, so I had to bring that up. Going to the bottom bracket, this is a mid-bottom bracket. I can't remember the bottom bracket height, but I don't think it's too high. Leave a comment below if you know what height the bottom bracket of this frame is. But here's the kicker. This is why everybody buys this frame, and why a lot of people sold this frame and now they're going to a different frame. So the reason why is this frame comes with a really short rear end, and that really short rear end makes your bike act differently. So this is a 12, actually, I'm sorry, I brain farted. This is 11 point, actually 12.5 rear end. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of all kinds of stuff and my brain's going crazy trying to remember all these bike parts and this geometry and everything. But it is a 12.5 rear end. That's extremely short. What that does is it pushes your wheel super far forward, where your tire is almost hitting your frame, and that scoots the rear end to the front of your bike, closer to your cranks. It does make the cranks closer to your pegs, causing your foot to hit. But the main reason why people want a super short rear end is because it allows you to fling off of grinds and spin way easier. So combine that with maybe a shorter front end, and in no time you might be able to do the tricks that Dan Kruk does. But if not, you just like this frame, you want to try it out, and you just need some assistance helping you with those grind to 180s or whatever, the spins, manual 180s, stuff like that, give this network a try. Head over to stackbmx.com and pick yourself up one.